Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the latest in the oil war between EU and Russia, or you can say USA and Russia, is that last month on 5th December, the G7 nations plus Australia, they decided to put a price cap of $60 per barrel from the oil coming out of Russia. Now, this is a major roadblock for Russia. At least that is what G7 and Australia are thinking, because what they want to do is they want to buy oil from Russia, but they want to put a price cap on it. Basically, they want to create a buyer's monopoly in the market. So they are imposing that they won't buy or allow the purchase of oil coming out of Russia for more than $60 per barrel, right? Now, why this $60 per barrel? Simply because they want the oil cheap, because they can't run without oil and they cannot keep Russia away from the oil market completely. That's one. Plus, they also cannot be away. They cannot, allow Russia to be in losses by selling their oil. So they want to give them some motivation. So with $60, Russia can, what they think that Russia will get a profit of about $10 to $20 per barrel. That would be motivational enough for them to keep producing oil for the EU, right? However, this price cap can have a reverse effect also, because recently the president of Russia, right, Putin, he announced that the Russia would be cutting all the oil supplies to whichever country follows this $60 price cap rule, right? And he's gonna implement this from the 1st of this February, right? 1st of February 2023. Now that means that those countries won't get the oil coming out of Russia, which accounts to 11% of the oil supply to the world. And ultimately, these countries might need to go to the Arab states, right, for oils, and that would eventually shoot up the price. Already, since the war has started, the oil prices have risen to almost double. So from 60 to 70 at the peak, they had crossed $100. It was around $117, $120 per barrel, right? And that itself crippled the UK's economy, right? Now, if the EU thinks that it can take Russia away from the oil market, that is depleting the world of 11% of the oil supply. Some studies suggest that this may lead to the oil prices going to as much as $300 per barrel. So see what 100 to $120 per barrel did to UK's economy. What, like, imagine $300 per barrel. Now, if they ban oil out of Russia and Russia bans all the oil to these price cap countries, the Middle Eastern countries will definitely, leverage this. And since they know that they will be the only suppliers, they will definitely increase the prices, and that can cripple most of the economies, right? So it can play a reversal. Now, coming to back to India and China, they have been importing a lot of oil from Russia at reasonable prices, because India is sitting at a very thin diplomatic line right now. But that has been helping India in taking over the oil, because after US, China and India are the biggest importers of oil in the world, right? And both being regular buyers from Russia, they would definitely be supporting the Russian economy anyway, right? Plus, there are more countries as well, right? Those will be happy to buy oil at cheaper prices. So yeah, so all in all, it might not cripple Russia's economy, but if such bans happen from Russia, and if the countries go to Middle Eastern countries for oil, those countries might get a big hit starting from February, right? So we might go to a big depression again on the world level, and obviously this would in turn affect everything, all the prices, everything will be affected, right? Now let's say that even if the G7 and Australia are successful in keeping that price gap at 60, uh, what are the options for Russia? Now Russia needs to understand, they already know this, we need to understand that it's not just the oil, but the shipment of the oil that matters in this whole process, right? So the shipment itself is a very costly affair. So you have the carrier ships, you have the containers, you have the ports, you have the insurance for that particular shipment and the ship. So all these are very, like, it's billions of dollars of work, right? Interestingly, the major percentage of oil that gets exported out of Russia goes through Greek containers, and the insurance companies that gives insurance to these containers is primarily a company from UK, right? So this is another way that, apart from just the G7 countries and Australia, these countries can also uh, you know put pressure on other countries to follow this price cap. Because if that price cap of $60 is not followed, the UK firm will not give the insurance to that particular shipment. Greeks will not be allowed to carry that shipment, and obviously in turn other countries that are not part of G7 and Australia might also have to follow this price cap, and Russia will also have to follow this. Otherwise they won't get insurance for the shipment, they won't get containers for the shipment, and they won't be able to sell it to even other countries who are ready to pay higher prices, more than $60 per barrel. So they won't be able to. So this is an indirect choke that these countries are thinking of putting on Russia, right? They pose the similar sanctions on Iran as well. So what are the major possibilities, or loopholes that Russia can find out of this? So Iran did it very recently, where to avoid all these checkpoints and everything, they basically switched off their navigation and tracking systems of the ship. So ships usually do these in open waters. So when ships are going through open waters, or waters where there's high rate of pirate ships that attack these ships, so they usually switch off their navigations and not navigations, basically their tracking system softwares. So switch that off. So recently they have since the war, countries have seen that this switching off of the tracking system has gone up to more than 600% than what it was doing before the Ukraine-Russia war, right? So this is one way where they can black market their oil, and yeah, this is a loophole where they are doing intership transfer of oil, and basically not putting their locations on the radars, and that way it is difficult to track whether that oil is coming out of Russia or not. So that's one. Another very interesting point is that Russia is developing its own insurance system for the ships and containers. So that way, if its dependency on the UK firm depletes completely, and even if it invests 50 billion, $60 billion worth of investment on an insurance company that will provide insurance from within Russia itself, so again that problem is solved for them, right? So these are few of the loopholes that Russia can definitely leverage. And though the G7 and Australia thinks that they have this will put a great impact to their economy and their earnings, it won't affect much to Russia. On the alternate, if Russia does what it says starting from the 1st of Feb, and it cuts on all the supply of the oil to these countries, this would have a very bad repercussion on the complete globe, right? So yeah, this was the latest from the oil war going on right now in the world, and basically this is supposed to impact every one of us. So starting from Feb, let's see what are the implications, what do these countries come up with, and yeah, let's hope for the best, although I'm not very positive about this, but yeah, anybody, yeah. So yeah, take care, please like, subscribe and share, and let's hope for the best. Bye.